Huddle up, everyone. In today's video, we're going to be going over where Julio Jones could be going. Now, the Atlanta Falcons announced that they'd be listening to other teams to trade Julio Jones, but this cannot happen before June 1st. The reason is because they'll take a huge cap hit if they trade him before June 1st. They're not going to release him because then they take an even bigger cap hit there. So they're going to be trading him. But the question is, to where? Not every team has the cap space to sign someone like Julio Jones. But, you know, they can always move people around, and depending on who they trade or what they trade for, they might be able to free up cap space for that person. So really, most teams are still in play here. We don't have to worry so much about the cap restrictions here. The place that would make the most sense for him to go to, I believe, would be to go to the Green Bay Packers. It's a ready-to-win team, and putting him with Devontae Adams on the same field is going to be the best wide receiver duo you have in the league. But I don't know if the Green Bay is going to do that. They're not a big blockbuster trade team. They've never really done that before. And with them drafting Love last year, it doesn't really show that they're always trying to win right now. The Indianapolis Colts could be a good team to trade for. It would definitely give Carson Wentz a huge upgrade for him. And with T.Y. Hilton and Michael Pittman on the field at the same time as him, it will definitely make Julio Jones a dominant wide receiver right away in that offense. The Las Vegas Raiders, which still sounds extremely weird to me, would be a place that could totally trading for him. I mean, if you can have a once-in-a-generation talent, you got to trade for him. So I think multiple teams are going to be trying to get him, but I think the Raiders would be a great fit for him because they don't have a true number one wide receiver. They have young wide receivers. Now, one of the biggest rumor teams is the New England Patriots. They did sign Nelson Aguilar, and they are showing that they're willing to go out there and, you know, do things to get better players, and he would definitely be a huge upgrade from Aguilar. The Baltimore Ravens. Now, this seems to be a great fit for Julio Jones. It's a team that's just trying to get that one player to get them over the hump in the playoffs. It would be a great weapon for Lamar Jackson, and it would instantly give them a huge upgrade at the wide receiver position. So I think Ravens really could be almost a perfect fit for Julio Jones. Now, I am actually shocked and would not have guessed that the Atlanta Falcons would have traded away Julio Jones or would want to be willing to trade him away. You just re-signed Matt Ryan, which makes me think that maybe my mock draft, it might be different. The Atlanta Falcons might not be trying to draft Kyle Pitts now. They might go to a quarterback and try to get him for the future and maybe sit him behind Matt Ryan for a year. So I might have to change my mock draft with Julio Jones potentially being traded now. What's going to really determine where Julio Jones goes is going to be what happens in the draft, because you're going to see trades. So, if you see people drafting a lot of high capital into wide receivers, you're probably not going to see in the trade for Julio Jones. But I think every team in the NFL should be calling the Atlanta Falcons to try to make a trade deal to see what Julio Jones' value is or what they're trying to get for him. Now, one thing I will say, Super Bowl winning teams don't always have an excellent wide receiver. The past 2 years have been kind of different because, the Buccaneers had they had the best trio of wide receivers in the NFL. In the year before, you had Tyreek Hill. You had Kelsey on the team, but he's not a wide receiver. But then if you look prior to that, the Patriots of old, they never really had phenomenal wide receivers. They had Wes Welker, but it wasn't a phenomenal wide receiver. Philadelphia, when they beat the Patriots, they didn't have a number one great dominant wide receiver as well. So you technically usually don't always see great wide receivers leading teams to the Super Bowl victory. So it's going to have to be a good organization to try to get Julio Jones to make him actually be able to get a ring. It can't just be any team, and he's going to take him there. You guys, where do you think Julio Jones is going to go? Or where do you want him to go? That's it for the huddle, you guys. If you guys can, please like that video, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next huddle. Ready, break!